Hey guys, I said earlier that I would stop streaming for the day, but like Arnold and Raw Deal, yeah, it was Raw Deal. I lied. So, what we're going to do right now is we're going to change the Docker deployment to being a multi-stage thing. So there's this thing where it's like from as. So whenever you do your from statement inside of your Docker file, you can say as like base or something like that. And then what you do is all the little like setup things you're doing, what you end up doing instead is you go ahead and put those inside of the base image, and then you do a from base whenever you're actually done with installing all of the various junk. So you can see we've got make dependent in the update DB and all that stuff. So really then all we have to do is do from, I think. Yeah. So from base as tCMS. So that's where we're going to go to the user. We're going to make install. We're going to reset the dummy data, and we're going to actually run the application. And I probably want to copy over the stuff as well, again, just to make sure that everything is back up to snuff, because that's sort of how the workflow works. Yeah, that'll do. So let's go and do it. See if this works. So let's head over here to our little Docker desktop here and tell this thing to die. Dobby. Okay, do I have... Oh, it says it's in use, so I probably have to Docker kill it. Okay. Okay. Loving McCarthy. All right. So let's go back here and do our Docker thing. And I believe there is a target that you can actually do here. So it's not from, there's a target. Let's take a look here. I don't want feedback. I want to just control F this thing. That's the bookmark. Control F. Thank you. Okay. So we need a target. Yeah, so it's just dash dash target. Okay, so Docker build base. Oh, yeah. And then dash T. And then I'll probably want to call this tCMS base. Let's try that. Base. And theoretically, it won't actually run anything. It won't get to that point. It'll just build the VM and go from there. And then the idea would be that whenever I do Docker build on not base, but on tCMS, it will see that I've already got base built and I don't have to do anything about it. So, well, this takes a minute or two. I guess I'll just sort of talk about the experiences I've had. It was probably about 10, 11 years ago that I first came across the technique that they call here multi-stage builds. We called them overlays back then, and it was sort of VMware that actually brought the concept together of you make base images and then you overlay images on top of that. And that's sort of what the QCOW2 copy on write file system sort of all came out of, was the idea that you're going to have this base image and then you're basically just going to write a little journal on top of that of what you've done onto it past then as what the actual VM that you're running is. And that you can sort of just layer it like a layer cake of all that stuff until you actually get the template that you want. And it's basically the same sort of technique here with these containers as far as I can tell. So, because really it's just a virtual file system and then C groups, I think, is really all there is behind all this. So are getting many libraries, and then we will be building with the cpan and hopefully making it faster at some point. I probably need to skip tests with like -t or something like that to speed that up, but we'll see. Can't remember if cpan-m actually has the skip tests option. I can check real quick. Let's do that. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, -n for no test. So I probably need to put that inside of my make depend to actually speed that up. So I'll do that next to see if that can help speed it up. I do like the fact that it's streaming the logs here in basically a little tail session with 6 lines or so, so that you can be very clear where you are in the space of the steps. This is kind of different from the way that it actually works on Linux. I'm doing things on Windows today because my Windows machine is just a great deal more powerful, has a lot more RAM, things like that, than my laptop that I usually do the work on and SSH into. So. And I got a new mic, so that's really what I'm trying out here. You can see I'm not wearing my headset and all that kind of stuff right now. So I want to do this sort of as a test of audio levels and noise filtering and all that kind of stuff. So as you can see, we're now on the cpan step, and we're building Mojo, which takes quite a bit of time for the tests on that. It's got a quite extensive test suite, and speeding that up with the -n will probably be very powerful. So. Okay, cool. Now we're moving on to the other stuff like the XML types for Moose and stuff that were done by my friend Mark Gardner, and then various other modules that are needed for everything. Test Fatal, it's a good module I like to use. Moose types URI, another great module. Oh, very good things. Oh, and Daytime W3C. That one was actually kind of fun to try and get installed with. I needed to actually, on CentOS, I had to do a lot of sort of wrangling to try and get that installed. And I think that was actually what made me end up going to Docker in the first place, was because there was some piece of XS in there that just flat out refused to compile on CentOS 7. So I know we had that module in the RPM set that we built for cPanel and stuff, but I'm pretty sure we had to patch it. All right, so it looks like we've got our base image done. It ended after update DB, so that's working exactly how I wanted it. So let's do, instead of base, let's build the tCMS target. See how that works. Okay, cannot create the directory. Oh, okay, so I've already done that earlier in the space of this, so I need to get rid of that make dir and just leave the rest of that there. I don't know that I'll need to chown anything either. Well, actually, I don't know that I should probably actually make this run as the user the whole time, because the user should exist and it should be chowned correctly. So let's go ahead and do that and see how that works. All right. Whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here? I don't like it. Looks like it's going and reinstalling everything. I'm not a big fan of that. That's junk. I don't care. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out what in the heck is going on here. Let's see. We've got base and then we've got tCMS. Why doesn't it do that? Let's take a look at the documentation here. So I can stop, but can I start at a specific build stage? You're not limited to copying from stages you created earlier. You can use copy from to copy from a separate image. Pulls the image if necessary and copies the artifact from there. So I could do a copy dash dash from. That's interesting. So I may actually have to do the builder pattern here, which is basically use two different Docker files rather than doing this whole pickup where the last stage set off, because that's sort of how you actually want to do that. Yeah, they're worried about getting the image size down, right? And so, yeah, one down for production. Build.sh needs to build the first image, create a container from it to copy the artifact out, and then build the second image. Both images take up room, and you still have the app artifact. Okay, that's interesting. So, use multiple from statements. Okay, so essentially it's... Yeah, so that you don't have to have two different images and you can save a little space on disk. It's not actually to solve this specific problem that I have of not wanting to waste a bunch of time rebuilding the entire app every single time. So I think I may have to go back to the drawing board here for a little bit and take a look at the dockerfile.build, and yeah, let's see about doing that. That might actually do what I want. And then I can just run that directly. So okay, let's I'm gonna need that port there inside of this, and then let's get the label and the expose line down here inside of here, since this is actually relevant to the actual running service instead of the just installing all of the junk. So, and I don't even need to actually copy all of home/tcms, all this stuff to there. So what I could do is ./makefile, because I think that's the only thing I actually need. Yeah, that I believe is the only thing I'm going to need. So we'll put the makefile there and see how that works. And then put this all into the dockerfile.build, and then have everything inside of this other Thank you. So let's do this from troglodyne, base, and latest. And the rest in here in the docker file.build. So that's what we'll do. And we'll make a update to the build script to handle this. So what we're going to do dash target. Well, I don't even need to pass the target anymore. I need to do -t troglodyne base. And then it's going to be docker file -build. I think that's what it's called. Well, there's got to be a way to specify actually the build. Yeah, there's buildarg. Yeah, -f. That's what I need. Okay. Okay, let's try that. Oh, it's dockerfile.build. Okay. Okay, so that's actually going to end up building the image for the base, and then I can try and build the actual overlay on top of that. Rather than just trying to save space, I'm trying to save myself time, which is much more important than saving myself space, because I'm going to be rebuilding this over and over and over again while I'm doing debugging cycles here, since especially if I'm trying to develop anything on Windows, you know, I don't have a Linux environment. I've got MinGW at best, but really what I want is to be able to just do the Docker build and deploy only the code rather than the actual deps, because I change the deps very rarely, and I change the code very often. So that's going to take ourselves a minute. Ooh. Good and sore after a workout yesterday. Oh, we had a failure. Make dir cannot create directory. So I need to actually make the home tCMS, I guess, because it actually made the make file as that. That's funny. So let's instead home/tcms/makefile. Okay. Let's try that. See how that works. Yeah, Docker is trying to DWIM do what I mean with regard to paths a lot of times. I noticed on Windows here when I was trying to pass the executable to run to Docker run, I had to like double slash it. Otherwise, I'm not sure if this was Windows or Docker or whether it was Commander here, the terminal I'm using, but it was like automatically transmogrifying the path from the slash based stuff that you expect on Linux to like C program files or whatever, you know. So that's certainly something to be aware of if you're trying to use Docker directly on Windows MinGW kind of environment like you get from Commander. And it looks like we got our working directory made correctly. We've got our make file there, and we're running make depend successfully. So, hoo-ha, it's working. And then the only question is going to be whether or not I can actually build the tCMS image on top of this, and how long does it take? So, oh, I should have actually edited the make file and made the cpan install a little bit faster so that didn't have to wait around on you guys here. Well, there's one piece of news I can actually bring up here. There's a nice new feature that came to tCMS not very long ago at all. In fact, we just had a pull request I merged from Andy. Let's go to closed pull requests here. So basically, we made systemd service definition files here. So I can certainly have him hop over here and talk about it. Hey, want to come and talk about the systemd files real quick here? I got some time to kill. Yeah, sure. That sounds fine. So, for systemd, we've got a unit file that gets installed by your makefile for systemd as a user unit instead of a system unit, so that the way that we're currently installing tCMS, more or less is unhindered. This model is not broken in any way. It runs as the user that you're currently installing tCMS as, and installs the unit that way. It enables linger mode for the user so that the service isn't just shut down whenever your user is logged out. And otherwise has all of the right things that you would want here. You can see in the install service thing, it takes the correct directory wherever tCMS is installed. We're just using pwd for now, which admittedly is not the perfect approach. You can invoke the makefile with -t or something like that and fool it, but it's just not something that I really care about fixing, especially since the instructions say, hey, go into the here and run the makefile from the actual directory that you cloned it into. Then, user daemon reload just says reload the units, enable tCMS, start tCMS, and then whenever you use systemctl-user, status tCMS, you can see whether it's running, you can restart it, all that sort of stuff, whenever you need to reload tCMS, all that sort of stuff. It's pretty simple, ultimately, as a systemd unit file, but for the most part, systemd unit files are pretty simple. Of course, sysvinit style one would be kind of cool, but since pretty much every big supported OS now has jumped on the systemd train, it's just really not worth doing. Could probably whip one up, maybe give me an hour or two, something like that, and I could, but since
I'd say wait for demand.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not really in a hurry to make something for like CentOS 6 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Do you think that there would be a big use for something like these sorts of system CTL things in the shared environment where you have a bunch of users doing stuff and like a passenger sort of thing where you have a bunch of little scripts running on ports?
Oh, for sure. Like
You know?
if you're talking about a shared user environment, then this sort of approach makes perfect sense, which is why systemctl made a complete workflow for it, especially as it concerns, say, desktop services, that sort of thing. Like I know Akonadi, something like that, I believe uses that for like desktop search, that sort of thing. All sorts of stuff uses the user units so that whatever the service is, whenever the user is logged out, they're not loaded, but whenever they log in, it automatically loads whenever they're enabled, that sort of thing.
That's actually really cool.
So if you want like desktop services specifically, that caters to that, but you can also, like I was saying, enable linger mode so that whenever you're logged out, it still runs. So if you did want to bind to a port that's, say, not one of the reserved ports, like 5000 is or whatever the default port, that's not a reserved port. Any user can bind to it. So that works just fine for tCMS or whatever port that you've configured tCMS to bind for, so long as it's not a reserved port, should work fine.
Yep. All right, cool, man. Thanks for sharing.
Yep.
Okay, let's take a look and see real quick. We're still building some stuff for CPAN, so definitely should have put in the dash in there. Yeah. Um, but, it looks like it's about done. Yeah, if we're getting to test deep, we're nearly done. So, um, let me think what else we got going on today. What? We got a makefile error. www. Oh, okay. So I need to actually make the www folder. Okay, let's real quick fix our CPAN thing here. Dash in. And let's make sure that we actually have this directory here. I think that should do the trick. Okay. I Actually, I don't know. I don't want to do make there because it may have a bad exit code if it already exists, which would be our sort of normal workflow. So let's actually do this inside of the dockerfile.build. Run.
So I think that should do it now. How long did it take? It took 319 seconds there. Okay, and it was the CPAN stuff. How long did the CPAN stuff take? It took from 197 seconds to 319 seconds. So yes, that should hopefully be significant savings. Not running the test suite. Okay. So I need to actually, it's not going to be a make-dir-p. Need to, oh, duh, because it's a actual shell command. So, -p. All right. That should fix that. Okay, yeah, that's fixed now. Okie dokie. Yeah, it's funny that the locale package actually explodes because term readline is not installed. It on these Docker images, you have to sort of do a little bit of juggling and backflips to get around the fact that they don't ship on the Ubuntu Docker image. The default UTF-8 ENUS UTF-8 locale, it's just, I think, C.UTF-8 and C. So I had to make sure that that was actually working because stuff like the XML libraries tend to require an actual working locale for some reason. So I try not to think too deeply upon the mysteries of XML if I can get away with it. And I think most people don't. It's just not something that you want to descend into madness about. Interesting. So you could, if this doesn't work, I'll probably have to do this create your own base image thing where it's a parent image. And I could make it with tar, but I could do from scratch, right? Uh, but that would basically just be slurping in my existing file system, which probably not a great idea. That's interesting. We'll have to see. All right, so it looks like our packages should be done here any second now. Yeah, installing all of the libperl packages pretty fast. The date time stuff, yeah. Download more stuff, just 26 more megs though, so shouldn't be that bad. XML parsers. No. No, I don't want XML parsers. Okay, now we're back to cpanm. Oh, that's much faster. Yes, I am a big fan of not running tests whenever I'm just installing stuff that I already know works. Yes, yes, this is much, much better. Exporting image, baby, yeah. Okay, cool. So we've got our troglodyne base image. So now let's do troglodyne slash base slash tCMS and just the normal Docker file. Okay, so make install failed and it's permission denied. So I'm gonna have to actually do the chown here. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. Cannot create directory www themes. And why is this so? So we've got the tCMS user owning the directory, and it's a recursive chown, so it should be fine. What's wrong with dockerfile.build? I don't know. That is pretty strange. Am I missing an add? Oh, that's probably what it is that I have to do the add while I'm still root and then chown everything. I think that's what I have to do. Yeah, okay, let's try that. Yeah, now we got it. Oh, that was great. All right, so we've got our image. It's fast. Let's make sure we don't have any containers running. Okay, so I don't have any containers running. Let's go ahead and just run that sucker. Should have it back here in my scroll back somewhere. Okay. I think I should just be able to run it like that, right? Yeah. So, no. There's still something wrong with the CMD there. It wants to run it like this instead. Yeah, you'll see that. NSH-C, whatever. And so I'll have to kill that. Brave. Bah. Okay, now we've got that killed. Let's go ahead and actually run the command that worked around the weird Windows strangeness. Okay, good. So that's working the way I want it to. All right, well, I got myself a base image working. I can update some build scripts here real quick, and then maybe I'll take a look and see why it is that the Docker run command doesn't work the way I want to, but I might be too tired to do that for the rest of the night. So, okay, let's see. So we've got Docker deploy.sh. So what I want to do is add another Docker build here. Troglodyne/build /base .-f Docker file build. And that should get me everything all the way built if I want to. Yeah. And there we go. So maybe I should break this up into two scripts so that I can do them like a full and a normal deploy. So let's go ahead and I'll just call it rebuild.sh. Yeah. What? Okay, that's silly. Visual mode, please work. Thank you. Okay, so Okay, and so this will just build the thing I want. And then I should be good to go there. And then, yeah, okay, so let's make sure that docker deploy.sh still works. Well, let's go ahead and container ls. That's interesting. So it's user bin sh-c user bin starman. That is probably why it's not doing the way I want it to do. Uh, Crazy Ellis, that's funny. So one thing that I can try out here is this this calling convention may actually even work on Linux. I'll probably want to check that out, but for now, I'll just change it in the file and cross my fingers. Gosh. Okay, so yeah, so we'll run docker deploy. Okay, works. Very good. So then I'm going to look and see. Do I have one here? Let's kill elated gates and run the full deploy. Okay. Okay, it looks like it's working. So, yep, now I've got overlaid builds, saves us a bunch of time, and I should be able to quickly develop on basically any platform now using this set of Docker files. Um, I probably need to think more heavily about whether this stuff is getting uploaded to like docker.io or something like that, but we'll see. That seems like it took a lot less time than I thought. That's interesting. Make depend was abnormal. Oh, cached. Oh, cool, because nothing actually changed there. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot in that I guess if it detects that there's no real changes, it just goes ahead and does. That's even cooler. Awesome, man. Okay, so this is definitely embiggened and improved the build process. Let's run that one right again because I love that. That was fast, fast, fast. Oh, okay, it's already allocated. But yes, it's so fast. The build is almost instantaneous now for everything. Ah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'll let me update the uh, README real quick. So docker deploy.sh. Yeah, that actually is wrong. That's correct. So uh, okay, so that is now correct. Okay, okay. Cool. Very, very cool. Okay, I think we're ready. I'll just add everything because I don't see anything special here. Okay. Speed up the Docker build process. Oh yeah, I forgot. I actually have to. There's a there's a specific command for what is it? The not WSL, but this specific thing. It's maybe it's this one that I have it in. I think it's start SSH agent. Yeah, let me try that. Yeah, there we go. So that's the thing you have to like memorize if you're using Commander on Windows is start SSH agent because nothing else will actually work for starting your SSH agent. So now I can pull easily. What? Well, that didn't work. Well, I guess it's back to the drawing board on that. Jeez. Okay, well, good to know. Sometimes these technologies don't quite work out. Anyways, so we've got our change done, and my Docker builds are fast, and I'm a happy boy. So we will see you guys later.